the World Economic Forum has predicts that over the next 5 years, there's going to be 200 million jobs that are displaced, which I think has created a lot of fear. I think reasonably. What technology is coming that you're most excited about?
Well, you know what? It's already there. We have a lot. I'll give you a couple of things. So it's fortunate and unfortunate because it's a double-edged sword, right? So we have the kiosk. I don't know if you've been to a McDonald's or you've been to a fast food restaurant where it's just a kiosk. I mean, you don't need the person or handling money anymore. You just put your order in, what you want, and you pay right then and there, and they just call your name, and you don't. There's no more interaction, right? So we're dealing a lot with that right now, Mark. The other one that I just got back from a meeting. I was in Omaha, Nebraska with Fiserv, and it was a couple of ISOs like myself that got together a yearly thing. So the one that was really intriguing and we talked about, and it's already in beta to give you an idea. So let's say, Mark, you have a restaurant and you call into customer service. This AI is so mind blowing that they answer your questions and your calls just like it sounds like a real person, and they're legitimately answering your questions, and I'm just like blown away. So could that put people out of jobs at customer service? And absolutely it will. I mean, it's just AI is just I don't think people understand how enhanced and how robust it is, until you start digging in. So, and I live in that world of space a little bit. I'm not too techy. I rely on my staff to help me out with that. But yeah, to answer your question, it's definitely changing the world.
AI voice is insane.
I got to tell you a quick story, man. Not to cut you off, brother. So we're talking about the book that I've just recently written, right? And we're talking about my voiceover, and I'm like, oh my God, I got to read this, right? So then one of my tech guys comes over and is like, hey, look at AI. And I tell you what, Mark, it spooked me out because he did a script about my book for like the Audible kind of thing, right? And it sounded just like me. I was floored. I was like, I couldn't believe that it wasn't me, but it sounded identical. It's it's on another level, Mark. It's on another level. I can't even describe it. I can't describe it.
It's really insane. I to your point, I don't think people understand how good AI voice is. I mean, and not, listen, and the book, by the way, is Fields to Fortune, which is available on Amazon. That's Fields to Fortune, but you could not just not just read it in English, but in 100 different languages like that. And it's not that expensive.
No. And you know what? It's really, like you said, I don't think people really understand. And even at my level, right? I don't know. I'm not using it to its fullest extent. Like, it's so robust that every day I learn something. I mean, you can just do just about anything with it. And it is in the near future, and it's going to be more common. And to answer your question back, it is going to change the world, and it will change some job positions. But hopefully we don't ever lose the reality of touch, because I'm like I said earlier, I'm really built on relationships and personal touch and communication and feel in touch and tangible. So, let's hope it doesn't change too much where it just, we forget about human itself, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think I hate to say it, kind of an old school mentality. You and I don't know exactly how old you are, but I grew up the first 20 years of my life in an analog world,
Yeah.
Talking to my daughter, she's 9. She's like, Dad, I want a phone. I want a phone. I'm like, you're not getting a phone. You're 9 years old. It's not happening. And she's like, but you have a phone. I'm like, I didn't get my first phone till I was like 20 years old. I didn't have a smartphone till I was 25. So just creating a little bit of perspective. But I think at the end of the day, though, I think because a lot of creators, I come from the creative space, and a lot of people are like, oh, well, the artwork, the digital art, the digital audio, songs, music, video, it doesn't have a soul. It's not creative. And at the end of the day, I don't think the consumer really cares. All the consumer cares about is, do I get the desired result?
You're absolutely right about that, Mark. It's changing so much. I mean, people, the future is faster, quicker service. Is just like it's changing a lot. So I don't think, and I agree with you. I don't think that they really care as long as they get the end results that they're asking for. So, I mean, it's funny that you mentioned that because, yeah, I didn't get my first phone either till I was, I think, in the sales career, and I was 19 or 20. It's like, but it's changing. You have these elementary kids now with phones. It's just the world is changing. I'm not saying this for a better place, but we just have to watch and monitor our children, right? I mean, because there's so much stuff out there that we do not want them on those type of websites or type of stuff that happens in the back. So yeah, no, listen, man, I'm all with you 100%.
No, major Trojan horse there. But I mean, we talk about AI voice and customer service, voiceover actors, actresses, even songwriters. What do these people do? What do these people do? Because I know what you mentioned, and I'm going to segue a little bit into politics here. You mentioned you're a delegate for the Republican Party. I know what the Democrat stance is. We're just going to have the rich pay for all the people to sit at home, and we'll have some sort of UBI type thing. That's not really the Republican way. So what is the solution to this problem of mass displacement of jobs?
You know what, Mark? It's not what it used to be back in the day. Listen, I was a Democrat. I remember the older days, right? And now it's like it's split so far apart, man. It's like so we're not even in tune, or we're not uniting. And it's sad to see that. Listen, there's things that I don't agree that some of my colleagues or in the political world say, right? But there has to be a happy medium point. And the problem right now is that we're so far off and so separated that everything it's before they even petition a bill, it's oh no, they haven't even heard the bill. They haven't even heard anything. Mark, we really need, I don't think we can solve it ourselves. I think we need a higher powers, man. It's more of a spiritual thing for me. Is like we need to really come to reality and unite. We're in the same country. I don't even know why we're fighting each other, my man. I really don't. It's very sad. If we were to get together as a unit and with our own country, we could be so much powerful instead of fighting with each other.